The film begins by introducing a teenage boy named Andrew, a student who has difficulty socializing. His life is full of challenges, especially because his mother is seriously ill, so he has to take care of and accompany her. Andrew also has a brother and best friend named Matt, who is always loyal to him. At school, Andrew has no friends, he keeps to himself while watching other students interact. Because of his quiet nature and habit of standing alone, Andrew often becomes the target of bullying from his classmates. One day, during a student council election campaign at school, Andrew, who is apathetic, seems completely uninterested. Until one night, Matt invites him to go out. Matt took him to an entertainment venue. There, Matt seemed to be enjoying the party, while Andrew remained focused on his camera, recording and capturing their moments. However, a man suddenly approached Andrew and asked him to leave. Reluctantly, Andrew left the place. After a while outside, Andrew was approached by a man who turned out to be Steve, Matt's friend and Andrew's classmate at school. Steve, who was also one of the student council president candidates, immediately told Andrew that he and Matt had discovered something strange. Steve then urged Andrew to see it right away. Upon arriving at the location, they found Matt already waiting. It turned out that the strange thing they had found was a large hole emitting a loud noise. When Andrew tried to record the hole, his camera began to malfunction. Instead of backing away, the three of them became even more curious and decided to enter the hole. They continued exploring the deep tunnel until Steve finally found a strange object emitting a bright light and a loud, powerful noise. Steve, curious, tried to touch the object. Suddenly, something happened, a strong pressure emerged and knocked them back, causing Andrew's camera to shut off. Several days after the incident, the three teenagers were seen alive and in good condition. They appeared to have grown closer and were playing together. However, it turned out they weren't just playing, they were attempting something extraordinary and beyond rational understanding. Now, after surviving the strange hole, the three of them possess an unusual ability. They can control any object with their minds without touching it. At that moment, they were training and testing their newfound power together.
Oh my God! Oh!
To make a long story short, the three of them now go about their daily lives while continuing to use their powers. They feel happy with their superpowers. Since no one knows about them, they start using them for fun, even pranking the people they encounter. Over time, their powers grow stronger, and they can easily control large objects like cars with just their minds. One day, while they were on their way, a car suddenly appeared from behind, as if signaling them to move out of the way. Andrew, who was annoyed, immediately used his power and accidentally sent the car plunging into a ravine. They were all shocked because they didn't expect their actions to be so dangerous. After that, they went to check on the car and were relieved to find that the people inside were still alive and could be rescued. That night, they all regretted Andrew's actions. Matt then agreed with his two friends that their extraordinary abilities should never be used carelessly or to harm others. All of them agreed upon the rule Matt established. One day, Steve invited them to a certain place. Upon arriving there, Andrew and Matt saw Steve flying in the air, demonstrating that his abilities had improved. Seeing this, Andrew and Matt naturally wanted to experience it, too. After several failed attempts, they finally succeeded in using their powers to fly. The three of them soared through the air, playing happily among the clouds. Andrew, who had always been gloomy, began to cheer up because of their friendship. One day, Andrew and Steve were flying above a tall building in the middle of the city. They grew closer, and Andrew didn't hesitate to confide in Steve about his troubled family and his difficulties in socializing and making friends. Hearing this, Steve took the initiative to invite Andrew to a party and asked him to perform a magic trick there to attract the attention of the people in attendance. In short, the day arrived. Andrew began performing his magic tricks using his superpowers, and the audience was captivated by his performance. Several times, they even screamed in awe. After the performance, Andrew successfully attracted the attention of many people, including a beautiful student who approached him. The woman was very aggressive toward Andrew because she was so impressed by his performance. Not wanting to waste the opportunity, the two of them went to a room to get closer. However, not long after, Andrew made the woman feel uncomfortable due to a silly incident that occurred. Later, at home, Andrew, still upset about what happened at the party, faced another challenge from his father. Suddenly, his father scolded him and blamed him for his mother's deteriorating health. Andrew, who felt innocent, remained silent, but his father continued to berate and abuse him. Overwhelmed by his emotions, Andrew finally snapped and fiercely fought back against his father. That night, Andrew went to a secluded place to try to calm himself down. Shortly after, Steve arrived, seemingly understanding what Andrew was going through. Steve tried to calm Andrew down, but Andrew pushed him away, leading to an argument between them. Suddenly, Steve was struck by lightning and died instantly. It turns out that the lightning is controlled by Andrew, who is overcome by anger. The next day, Steve was buried. Matt, who was also present at the funeral, immediately asked Andrew what had really happened to Steve that led to his death. Andrew remained silent, not answering, and eventually left Matt, walking away without saying a word. At school, Andrew was increasingly bullied by the students because of the incident involving the beautiful woman. Hearing the taunts that made him feel more and more depressed, Andrew's emotions were once again ignited. Using his powers, he retaliated extremely against the bullies, pulling out all their teeth without a hint of remorse. Now, Andrew, who was once a shy boy, began to transform into a more daring and determined individual. With his abilities constantly honed, he can destroy any object with just his mind, without even touching it. Upon returning home, Andrew found his mother's condition worsening because the medication she usually took had run out. Andrew felt anxious and tried to find a way to buy the medicine. He went to the pharmacy, but the medication was extremely expensive. Confused and without enough money, Andrew felt desperate. In that situation, he thought of a quicker way to get money. Andrew was forced to commit robbery because he felt his financial needs were still unmet. He went to a convenience store, attacked one of the guards, and stole some money. The guards' attempt to stop Andrew with the weapon he had ended tragically when the bullet he fired hit the gas station, causing a massive explosion at the location. After the incident, Andrew survived and was taken to the hospital. At that time, his father arrived and delivered the devastating news that his mother had died. His father blamed Andrew for his mother's death and continued to insult him, while Andrew lay weak in bed. Despite being unconscious, Andrew heard all the insults from his father. Andrew's anger boiled over, and with the strength he possessed, the hospital room was destroyed in an instant. Andrew lifted his father into the air in front of the hospital building, drawing the attention of many people around him. Matt, sensing something was wrong with Andrew, rushed to the scene and tried to help him. However, when Andrew attempts to throw his father, Matt quickly saves him. The overwhelming anger made Andrew continue to fight, even causing chaos in the city. Matt tried to calm Andrew down, but as time passed, Andrew lost control. Andrew finally attacks Matt, who reluctantly tries to calm his friend down. In the midst of the battle, even though surrounded by police, Andrew continues to fight back. However, to stop the destruction from spreading further, Matt is forced to make a difficult decision. Matt stabs Andrew with a statue spear, causing Andrew to fall and die. After the incident, Matt, deeply devastated, immediately left the city and headed to the Himalayas to remember his two friends who had passed away. Matt continued to search for the cause of their superhuman powers, determined to use his abilities to help those in need. The film ends.